Morning. As part of the Civil War Veterans Day recognition ceremony, we wanted to lay wreaths at the site, at the burial sites of all of the Civil War veterans. As I'm sure you know, we have a very important guest of honor. I don't want to block your view of our very important guest of honor, Mr. Luke P. Martin. And we were pleased to be able to honor Mr. Martin at our annual meeting and banquet on Thursday evening. And again, he's joining us here today. Mr. Martin, in his own life, without regard to his ancestry, has a very important relationship to New Bern's history. He was a master brick mason who taught brick masonry to many of the other brick masons of this area, including formally in schools in this area, including Pamlico Community College and Pamlico High School. Mr. Martin's work is known as far north as New York, as far west as Boone, North Carolina. He has participated in so many important projects here, most notably the reconstruction of Tryon Palace, where he worked closely with Mr. Morley Williams, who was the restoration architect. And Mr. Williams was a very difficult man to please, and Mr. Martin more than pleased him. They became great friends and great admirers of each other's work. So Mr. Martin, in and of himself, in his 95 years, is a huge part of New Bern's history. We also honor him today, however, because of what his father accomplished. Mr. Martin's father was born 16 years after Madison and Jefferson died. 16 years. He almost has a direct connection to the Revolution. But he does, of course, have a direct connection to the Civil War. 23 years after he was born, Mr. Martin's father escaped from enslavement up near Plymouth, North Carolina, and was able to cross 3 rivers and go through the swamps to reach New Bern. As you know, since March of 1862, New Bern had been occupied, and in January of 1863, Abraham Lincoln declared the Emancipation Proclamation. So if Mr. Martin's father, Luke P. Martin, could reach New Bern, he could be free. And he did reach New Bern in the spring of 1863, but not satisfied with having achieved his own freedom, he enlisted in the 1st North Carolina African Volunteers, which became the 35th U.S. Colored Troops. Among the first freed slaves to fight for the Union. And his father fought with distinction in South Carolina and eventually at the Battle of Olustee, one of the bloodiest battles of the war, the Battle of Olustee in Florida, where his father was wounded. After the war, his father returned to New Bern, married, had a family, and when his first wife deceased, he married again and had a second family. And Mr. Luke Martin, named for his father, is the youngest son, the youngest child of that second marriage. His father was a minister at St. John Missionary Baptist Church, and Mr. Martin himself has been a lifelong member and great supporter of that church. He comes from a remarkable family. His father is memorialized at the North Carolina History Museum in Raleigh, and a statue there commemorating the U.S. colored troops. And One of the historians there once said that of all of the people that he knew in this nation, that Mr. Martin's father, Luke P. Martin, probably exemplified the importance of the Emancipation Proclamation better than anyone. You know, timing is everything. And he arrived in Newbern at just the right moment to arrive here to not only be in Union territory, but to be free and to be able to join the Union Army and fight for his own freedom and the freedom of his family and his fellows. Now, many of us here have ancestors who fought in the Civil War, and today we honor them all. In my family, so far as I can tell, they all fought for the South. I'm descended from several Confederate officers, and we honor them and all of those Confederate officers and enlisted men today. We have people here whose families fought primarily for the North or the North and the South. Those fighting from the South, many of them felt, no doubt, that they were fighting for their homeland. Those from the North, no doubt, felt that they were fighting to preserve a young Union. But I venture to say that of all of those who fought in the war, none could have been quite so motivated as those U.S. colored troops who were fighting for their own personal freedom and for the freedom of their families and friends. So I think it's especially poignant today, not only that we have one of the few, maybe the only, but certainly one of the few, I've tried to research, there are not a whole lot of children of Civil War veterans out there right now. And because in Mr. Martin's case, of course, he and his father have a combined age of 175, and there are not a whole lot of folks out there who can make that claim. But not only do we have the distinction at our ceremony of having the son of a Civil War veteran, but I think it's especially poignant today that we are joined by a man whose father fought for his own personal freedom. And as Mr. Martin has often said, he said, my father was not only my father, he was my hero. He was my hero because I know that today, not only do I exist, but I am free because of the actions of my father. And that's really quite remarkable. So we're so pleased to have him with us today. Mr. Martin, we salute your father and we salute you. Thank you for being here. We honor today the white soldiers, the black soldiers, the soldiers who fought for the North, the soldiers who fought for the South, and the knowledge that they all are deserving of our memory. And we're glad, as I say, to welcome you today for this important occasion. We will be proceeding to the cemeteries for wreath laying, and we hope that many of you will join us. If you would like to walk, then you will follow the color guard and the wreaths, and we will go first to the Confederate Memorial at Cedar Grove Cemetery and lay a wreath. We will then proceed across George Street to Greenwood Cemetery, where 5 members of the U.S. Colored Troops are buried, and lay a wreath there. And then we will continue on out National Avenue to the National Cemetery, where there are Union troops, white Union troops, and members of the U.S. Colored Troops who fought for the Union buried there. And I will tell you that among those buried at National Cemetery is Luke P. Martin, Mr. Martin's father. Cedar Grove Cemetery is the site of the Confederate Memorial, which is atop a common grave for many of the Confederate soldiers who were buried here in Newbern. And we were honored to have laying the wreath Bernard George, who is descended from soldiers who fought with the U.S. Colored Troops. He himself is a reenactor in the U.S. Colored Troops. And Bernard was chosen to lay a wreath at the Confederate Memorial in the presence of Luke Martin, whose father fought with the U.S. Colored Troops, and in addition, many people who wanted to honor all of these soldiers, whatever side they fought for. Greenwood Cemetery is an important African-American cemetery in Newbern, important historically for many reasons. But among those reasons are that 5 U.S. Colored Troops are buried at Greenwood. Now proceed to National Cemetery. National Cemetery, of course, is where Luke's father is buried.